Yow! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, eXtine, and this is the Essentials.TF Monthly Cup for North America. I am joined today in the commentary booth by Cornpops. How you doing, Cornpop?
I'm doing excellent. It's one of these Twitch monthly tournaments, and we've got all 17 teams, which is all we need for these to be able to run. So super excited. Been looking forward to this one for a while now. So yeah, we're getting ready to go going.
Yeah, our first match here is EU Gimmicks Reloaded versus the Midnight Society. EU Gimmicks Reloaded is, in fact, an EU team. I saw them last week in the Essentials European Monthly Tournament. They did good, but don't think they pulled it home in the end. Got defeated eventually, but this tournament that we have going on is a great opportunity for teams to get a bunch of games and a bunch of experience. World of Team Fortress is rough. And well, today's action that we have for you is going to be 5 Swiss format games. So that means we have our 2 teams playing right now. And as we progress through the day, teams win, teams lose. The teams that are winning will be matched up against each other as we go on, while the teams that maybe having a tough time of it, well, they'll actually get matched up against other teams that are having a tough time of it and maybe not doing so hot. And in the end, then, have some games closer to their abilities. So really great tournament. Every month this is happening. Definitely you should check it out in the future if you're not signed up right now. But you probably should be playing, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're watching this right now, that means you're not playing, which is a little confusing to me because unless you're the one team that has the bye first round, if you're that team, then you get those 6 players get a pass on this criticism, but the rest of you should be playing. But if you're not, at least you're watching, and that means that you're in for a treat because these are 2 actually really good teams. Midnight Society won Open last season. That is the lowest division of ESCA, but being able to win that still takes quite a bit of skill. So they're quite a good team. And then these European players, they're kind of a mix. They're not like a team that's been formed, but they're high-level European players as well. I know Martin is the team leader, and he played in Prem last season. The other guys I'm not super familiar with just because they are European, but I'm sure that they're good as well, and they're all like recognizable names. Even if I don't know exactly their history, they are all good TF2 players. So overall, the skill's probably better on the European, but with that ping disadvantage, I think this is going to be a close match. I don't know who's going to take it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that our North American-based team, the Midnight Society, I might give them a bit of an edge, but I definitely saw Damon and Diggy B slanging some pretty sick rockets last weekend. Martin has got a lot of experience under his belt. Thought maybe we would see him on the medic or the soldier, but in pregame, it looks like their lineup is going to be equal, and Ever_X on the scouts, Rax and Damon on the soldier, Martin on the demo man, and Diggy B on medic. Meanwhile, for the Midnight Society, Nuna on medic, Psych on demo man, Insane and Perfection on soldier, and Sila and Dunker on the scouts. We better see some air shots from Insane and Perfection. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, for sure. Those names definitely bring up an expectation. We'll say that much. Insane, Perfection. The demo man might be a bit of a trickster, though. Psych. It's not actually going to be. Yeah, mostly baiting his team, I'm expecting from him. But I think we're getting ready to get going. Good luck, have fun. Come out in the chat. eXtine, let's get going.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to all of our viewers here. Spread the word as this series gets going. We got 5 games ahead of us today. Awesome day for some TF2. And our team's rolling out on the goalie wash here. Midnight Society on the blue, EU Gimmicks on the red. Right now, Midnight Society all formed up on their deck, rotating fairly well. Insane looking like he might jump back in, but still has to wait. Low health. Rax is the first kill. That's a dead soldier for the EU team. They're still formed up pretty well. Diggy B ducking and weaving. Insane jumps back in. Damon thrown in the air. He's going to get picked out. Insane also down, so another round of soldiers going down. And it looks like the Europeans are going to back up now.
Very slow mid from both teams. I mean, EU Gimmicks, they sacked in one soldier, low or high ping, didn't really work out. Sacked another, didn't work out. But now Perfection actually right in on Diggy B. Can't hit that air shot, but trying to get the follow-up. He's solo, 16 HP. Gonna hold on to that, but there's a scout in behind, and looks like Sela is gonna be able to force that Uber charge off. So that's no more Uber charge in the hands of the Europeans. Meanwhile, Nuna does still have his, and he's running forward with his open players, popping it off on Dunker, trying to lead into this lobby area, get some frags if he can. They found Damon. He should be cleaned up. He's very low, at least does get cleaned up by the pistol. Equal as well. Rax does get taken down by Sayla. So that's 3 players down on the side of EU Gimmicks, and now they're holding last, and the push is not stopping next time.
Yeah, Midnight Society handled that very well, and they're just going to continue to put the pressure on, just like when they captured mid. They're already moving past it. Dunker does get gunned down by some nice heavy weapons work, but Insane coming through the secret, that bottom area there, backed up by his medic, who has gone down. Sayla still fighting. Perfection up top. Nice rocket there. Rax floating up in the air. The Demo Man is in as well. Psych needs to finish off Rax behind the point. There goes Equal the scout. Nobody spawning for another 4 seconds. That's plenty of time to just get a little bit of spam on Rax for the kill.
That was a little bit dangerous there. I mean, Midnight Society, they sort of bled in at the beginning, lost a couple of players, but did enough damage that it came down to 2 1v1s, and Midnight Society were able to win those with good positioning and good shots. So, yeah, well-deserved first round. We'll see how this next one goes, though.
Yeah, and they just had really strong transitions between points as well. As this mid-fight goes on, Insane gets pushed back. Didn't get the most damage on Martin, who's trying to stand still to get an arrow. He's like calling for it and standing still. Thankfully for him, not much damage thrown his way. Instead, it is Midnight Society under attack. Sight goes down. There goes another player as well, Perfection. So no soldiers, no Demo Man. The scout's trying to protect Nuna, but can't. Equal gets a big frag there. Bouncing around, picks up another frag. And it's just Insane with the respawn, the only player up for Midnight Society.
That whole mid was kind of just a chain reaction after Insane got taken down. Bombed into a soldier with a shotgun, and some great shots coming out from the high ping Damon, able to get that one. So swinging the opposite way now, 100% on the side of Diggy B. You can tell Midnight Society don't even want to hold this point, but with Rax getting domed down by Perfection, that could halt this push. I mean, the Europeans, they are still here. They do still have this supercharge advantage. Perfection's so aggro. My God, he's going to pay for that. Martin gets the frag there, and they're not going to let up and off supercharge running this right-hand side. Sentry Gun gets picked up. Insane. I'm not sure he meant to do that. That gun's not going to do anything now in this fight. Sailor's jumping aggressively, but again, does get shot down by Everx. And with all these players getting taken down on the blue team, there's only Psych and Nuna left alive. Nuna did just get a saw, I believe, and actually Psych's putting in the work. There's still 4 players barreling in. Perfection off that respawn. Throw it up into the air, and a nice shot from Damon. Able to clean him up, a little air shot there. Still, they're not getting too many frags on the defending side, and that's going to lead all their players to die. Medic almost got that, but they tied at 1.
Yeah, in the end, again, it's the sustained push at last, winning that fight. And kind of surprising to not see any soldiers. It was sort of just how the spawns work and the off-classing. And unfortunate, yeah, both the sniper and the engineer got rolled over pretty quickly there.
This third mid-fight, see the score even out. Psych had a big rocket actually just there. He's eating stickies as well. He's gotten so low so early, and he's going to get taken out by Martin. That's no Demo Man on the side of Midnight Society. This is once again looking bad, but Damon on the ground does get cleaned up by Sayla, so keeping it at a 5v5, but no Demo Man is still probably going to hurt a little bit more. You can see aggression from Perfection standing on top of that point, but Equal not able to secure that frag, and now with a big bomb in from Rax, I thought he was going to get the frag on Insane, but Insane, the one coming out on top in that fight. Now Equal running across the point, the 1v1 against Sayla. He should win that. He's got the health advantage, but not really being able to clean things up. Meanwhile, Insane's pushing over into choke, and Perfection did get taken down by Everx. Equal still alive somehow in elbow with so little HP. 5 health, and he's gone through big door, still alive. Insane, the enemy team's choke does get cleaned up by Everx, but he got Martin, so that's once again no more Demo Man on the red side. Now we can see for the Europeans, Equal coming in through choke, and he's right behind Nuna, right as his team is aggressing here. Try to get those Uber saws, but Nuna not able to save his own life, and that leaves just Sayla Perfection. Once again, it's an EU gimmick mid.
Yeah, that was definitely another wacky one. The scouts for the EU gimmick team, though. Oh no, his Perfection bombs it on Dicky B.
Oh,
rockets for the big frag. Just getting in the midst of explaining there how just the out survived for so long, and Diggy B was spitting out heals. They weren't necessarily getting frags, you know, but Martin was soaking up so much damage that Diggy B got that Uber 12% there.
Equal's about to win this game unless Perfection get on this point with the best jumps in his life, but he gets caught on the door. He was hiding so perfectly in their eXtine and just sneaks in behind, make it 2-1.
We have ran through 3 rounds within 6 minutes. Literally ran through, it feels like. We're gonna have to see how the fight goes. If Psych can stay alive a little bit longer, how the different bombs work out. Right now, Equal getting in the face of Psych, gets him down to about a quarter health. Psych backing up, does take an arrow there. Things kind of resetting here. Martin at half health now. getting the bulk of the beam heals though. Damon waiting for an arrow. He wants to jump back in there. Rax is down. Martin getting attacked, but staying strong. Dunker down the backside. He's the one arrow now. There's gonna be plenty of time to give it because Society in control of the middle point. Martin backing up. A sloppily placed, not really a trap. 4 stickies right on the ground. The big door. That's all he's got here for the defense.
Yeah, it's these passive mids that are working well for the Midnight Society. Once again, they're downlining ate a lot of early spam. You can tell they're focusing them on the side of EU Gimmicks, but smartly this time they weren't able to let him die, or they, didn't let him die. And because of that, now they are still pushing on the second.
Yeah, there wasn't much follow-up pressure on Psych at mid. Right now, Insane had been working the wood section up against her and does get the frag there, so that is the only one down for Midnight Society. A fairly big loss losing your demo, but they're just charging. Both scouts healed up on the side, even getting a frag on Dunker. And our medic Nuna here just completely caught out. Sayla did get the kill on Diggy B, so makes once again do lose their medic, but they're charging forward. I think they'll exchange with Nuna going down as well. Yeah, Midnight Society trying to get in here, but I think they're just going to be bleeding players. Maybe not actually, but Insane pretty banged up by that Frost.
With no medic as well on the field, he's not going to get healed up until he can run back to a pack. He's got to watch out for Equal as well, who's still in this lobby, but thankfully cleaned up by Sayla. No more flanking shenanigans coming out from EU Gimmicks, from Midnight Society, so... No, I'm mistaken. I got it right the first time. It's EU Gimmicks. Yeah, but now we're sitting mid to second. It's even Uber charges. There's no real pick advantage. Equal will be respawning very shortly here. Perfection, however, is going to create one on the flank. Takes down Rax, and once again it's 6v5. Even as soon as that player spawns, keeping it at that one player advantage. So that gives them a little bit of room to work with. They can peek in. They're going to throw Insane in, but they lose Dunker at the exact same time to Martin, and this is a little bit risky situation. They've come up through the drop down, and now they're right on the medic, and he's actually going to get taken down. Diggy B didn't have that Uber charge just yet. Nuna barely surviving as pops that Uber charge off, getting so low, just getting that Uber charge out 100%. Now Everx on the point, very low, just trying to survive, and 1v1 Sayla. Sayla kind of dropping down and missing his shots. He really should be able to shit those, but now it's Nuna cleaned up by Rax on the bottom side, and this is going to be a disaster on the side of Midnight Society, losing their medic. Diggy B is going to have that Uber charge advantage. Martin as well, over on the second point, does get cleaned up, so it looks like they sort of have the positional, on second, but weren't able to really get on this middle point. Hectic fighting all over the place. Finally, Equal takes down Perfection as he runs in, and I think we're sitting here.
It was pretty wacky there for a bit. If the EU Gimmicks team had kept both of those scouts up there, I think they could have rolled forward and then won that fight, but unfortunately they dropped one real quick before he could get buffed up. Thankfully they're kind of full fight and situation is resettling. Slight advantage to EU Gimmicks, but they'll probably just kind of look for some sort of pick or Uber and then try to move in.
What I really liked from Midnight Society is how aggressive they were when they had that one pick advantage. It just made something happen. They didn't even allow the enemy team to get their Uber charge. So now they're sort of disadvantaged, about 15, 20%. It's more built, so I don't think the Europeans are going to push, but with the passive positioning coming out, Midnight Society, they are going to walk into second. Diggy B taking quite a bit of damage on that entry, but it shouldn't matter. Oh, yes, it will. There's the drop. Insane. Just as I was saying that low health shouldn't matter. Insane hits a really nicely angled rocket. Perfection gets taken down. You can tell they're all trying to feed in for Nuna, and they will get that force. That's really important because that's going to even out the Uber charges. But still, you can tell almost every player's gone down so far. It's just Rax left alive with that skill stick running all the way back to second, and he's not even going to make it. Psych with a nice pipe cleans him up. That's the full wipe.
Yeah, Diggy B respawn. Has to wait for his players though. Ready to heal for a good 7 seconds. They get the forward spawns for everybody except for 2 players. Should be able to stay forward here and get something happening. Psych might hear the existence of a trap around the corner, knows that there's a soldier up high now. Small thing to note while we have just a little bit, it looks like did have a little bit of a class switch from the beginning of the game. Perfection has been playing scout for the last couple of minutes. Now on a soldier.
Dunker picking that one up, so once again, I mean, Midnight Society, because they played so well and so aggressive on that last fight, they've built themselves an Uber charge advantage again. And you can tell they're such an aggressive team that they're going to keep rolling in with this. And the Europeans, they're expecting this. They are playing pretty passively. Diggy B up top there doesn't want to get flanked. However, with the team coming in through lobby, they're going to take down Equal unless Equal can get on the medic. Unless Equal can get on the medic, he's going to get the force. Oh, that's unfortunate. Sailor really needed to hit those shots if this big flank play was going to work, and now they're being wrapped around. Sailor's still able to push forward, gets Rack. Martin taken down as well, means the only 3 players alive, but they're on mid eXtine. The medic is capping the point. Meanwhile, their second's getting capped, and this is a bad situation because only 91 Uber. Oh, and Dunker takes him down. It's another wipe.
Yeah, those gimmicks are not going to work here. That was just way too crazy. They're trying to push forward, but at the same time, when you leave like 4 players behind you, you can't push forward with 3 because they're just going to cap, you know? And now that just the bleed has continued, Martin goes down, they get the capture there. And very awkward fight for EU Gimmicks on that second point. And just definitely all collapsed after that. They just got like dissected pretty much.
Now we're tied at 2. Of course, it is first to 5 in this, or whoever's winning after 30 minutes. About 18 minutes left on the clock, so plenty of time to keep going here. We'll see how this mid fight rolls out. Again, the passive mids have been favoring Midnight Society. Perfection get a little aggressive, Insane as well, but they're going to get the first strike on EverX, trading with Perfection. That makes it a 5-on-5. Equals getting aggressive. Insane still playing very passive by the Victor. He's on such little HP, and he's going to eat a sticky. Taken down the exact same time as Psych is cleaned up by Equal. Damon taking down Dunker as well. That leaves just Sayla and Nuna left alive, running all the way back to second with only 1 casualty for the Europeans.
Yeah, I got banged up pretty early and just couldn't really contribute. Hiding out in the corner while Dunker, after his bomb in, got finished. And they just really make the mid and after that.
One thing I will say though, if you want to only get 2 players out of your mid, you want it to be the scout and the medic, because they can be building, which is exactly what they were on. Martin getting that pipe kill to Perfection is a little questionable though, because now it's a 5v6, and if they don't want to push, they can at least poke in, and a push isn't off the table either.
Yeah. Be so careful, scout, to make sure that you don't get caught in those situations. Ooh, Rex going all the way to the point. Sticky trap somehow didn't kill him. He's chasing down Nuna, just getting right in his face, daring him to pop the Uber charge. And meanwhile, we have a little bit of a equal for Insane behind the point, but I think we'll just mix back up and try to reset here. Midnight Society isn't going to have any of that though, as they're pressuring forward on the side, out through Shutter as well, trying to get a pincer going on up against Diggy B, who has to pop on Damon. They're going to push forward, and their Uber will last longer than Nuna's. I'm not sure if Damon was trying to rocket jump forward or if that was just a rocket to check stairs. But now he's fighting up against Dunker in lobby. Oh, goes down to a sticky that was left behind for Ike, I think.
Yeah. No, that was a very safe push out for Midnight Society, and I liked it a lot because they've already been back capped once, right? Perfection going out there is also safe because you got Damon frag with a sticky a little while ago, so it's still 5-on-5. You still probably won't get pushed into. And with that push out, they just popped Uber-charge, forced the enemy team, saw they weren't going to get anything, backed up again, didn't lose any players until just at the end with Perfection there. So excellent play by them, playing it safe. Now it's 1v1, Equal versus Sayla. Equal kind of just running in insane, gets taken down off of some distraction from Equal there, but once again, 5-on-5. The soldier bombing in doesn't get anything. So this is the same situation we saw before, other than Perfection.
Yeah, there goes Rax though. So it is equal 4-4 versus 5v4. So you're gonna stay in. Nuna does get the charge first, and that might have been part of the calculation. I don't know if they thought that he had charge when they sent that bomb in from Rax. Now they're trying to pressure a little bit harder, but still staying close. And they have to be careful that they're not goaded into using the charge themselves or left with too few players to really fight afterwards.
Perfection up on the sniper signals to me that they're here for the long haul. He's poking in on a river. There is a scout there, but nobody dying in this exchange. Equal playing it safe enough that he will get back. Calculated, 8 HP. He knows what's going on. Don't worry, eXtine. But no, ball is all in the court of EU Gimmicks right now because they're safe. They're sitting on second, but it is a tie game, and at some point they got to make a move.
Yeah, clock will reset us in 7.5 minutes if it does get that desperate. Probably will have some action here, and Martin going down. That's a great movement from Insane. We also do have a sniper out here for EU Gimmicks, but Equal did get banged up, so not really in very good fighting shape. Having a hurt sniper that's all the way back out by second point. Not having a demo man, and Midnight Society have kind of sniffed this out. They got a kill on
Oh
Damon.
no!
There we go, big snipe taking down Nuna, and that's gonna hurt a lot. No Uber charge, Nuna down for 12 seconds, so no heals. They can keep their players alive and get some frags here, but EverX goes down. Might be tempted to pop on Rax here, but no. Going to hold it, going to hold it.
Oh man, this is 100% now for Diggy B. You can't tempt a European sniper, especially not one on high ping. eXtine, that is a recipe for disaster. Equal putting in the work for his team. He's even going to run all the way back because EverX died, so he can hold that spawn door open. He's going to run back and change back to scout for this push. So they're going to make it as perfect as they can. And this is the correct response coming out from the Midnight Society as well. They're building up a gun. They did have a heavy, but changing the switch off of it instead. So that gun's going to get at least level 2 before this push comes in, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah, the Uber forced just a little bit early. Damon getting chased back, does get picked up by Sayla. That was great chase from him. Martin has Sayla in his back, just slinging meat shots at him, but they have gotten a frag on Nuna, so no heals out if they can just sustain and stay in this fight. Insane trying to chase out Diggy B. There is captures going down on the point. Rax fending off. Insane finishes it off. There you go. Good job by him. 3-2 for EU Gimmicks. Rax got like a 4 or 5K there right at the end.
Oh yeah, I mean, Rax was like
at least a 4K.
I don't want to say it was all Rax though, because Midnight Society literally just chased people out of the choke while Rax was standing on the point dealing damage. Nobody decided to focus him, so that's a bit of a yikes in my opinion. But that, however, is even worse because Equal getting the super early frag on a psych. This is exactly what happened before. The demo man goes down really early. These are the mids that they've historically lost. A big shot coming out from Damon on Insane. Cleaned up, punished for that, but regardless, it's a nice air shot, and because of that, or despite that even, it looks like it will go in the favor of Midnight Society. Equal pistol down by perfection, so a very fast mid, and despite those mids historically going in favor of EU Gimmicks, Midnight Society, take it out.
Yeah, that is the world of mid fights in Team Fortress. You know, you're like, oh wow, they just destroyed the demo man. Oh wow, they just destroyed the soldier, and they've lost the mid fight. Like, you would have thought, but you know, it's complicated. And just because you get a couple frags, stay focused and make sure that you're staying alive. This has been a good push forward, and they're going to try this Uber past the second point in already. They're kind of spread thin. Oh, and Nuna drops!
Ooh, that's, yeah, here comes the pop coming out from Diggy B. This should be a disaster on the side of Midnight Society. I mean, it's been a very hectic round all around. Perfection trying to stand on this point. Insane's back there as well, but they're on so little HP. Martin, with some stickies, will be able to win that fight. That leaves only Psych left alive. That all felt like a mid-fight, and we had people capping last. That was so fast of a round, but a little too fast next time.
They definitely transitioned incredibly fast between mid and last, capturing second and pushing last immediately. But then when they were that spread out, I don't know why you wouldn't pop the Uber, pushing it through main like that. We're hit from rocket that dropped them. And now Diggy B does EverX and has a soldier in his easily taken out, just racked. And the easily haste pushes coming from the EU Gimmicks team.
You can tell Midnight Society are feeling it right now. The EU Gimmicks, they thought they could push in the middle point. They're like, all right, we can safely take this in. They got completely stomped on. Now they're holding their last points. A nice sticks from Martin. I thought it was the air fight, but it wasn't in the end. It was just a sticky trap. Still very nice by him. 85% on Nuna, 17 on Diggy B. So what this spells out to me is that there will be a push coming very shortly from Midnight Society.
Yeah, they have a huge advantage here. Insane in main. They were on Riverside, but it looks like they're going to shift over to Shutter. Want to take it in on Perfection. Pop is through with Psych. Easy first frag on EverX, sending players towards the point. Now there are stickies down there. They have been popped. And Martin behind the point won't be able to slow that down.
eXtine, why are there 3 players sitting in your spawn when the enemy team is pushing in through your Shutter? That was a little questionable.
Yeah. Little too much of a retreat, and Midnight Society definitely doing a good job of just playing around the point. Martin didn't have any support. Nobody could throw themselves on the body to just or bodies on the point to slow it down. And right now, Psych gets a little bit better protection. EverX going down. Psych's still pretty low. Damon does get a frag as he kind of gives up on getting Psych and turns around. But it looks like this is a quick mid with the EU Gimmicks team forced into that early retreat. Martin does pick up a frag there, but Diggy B is going to have to rotate through wood to get out. And now they're in that weird spot as well, where it's just kind of Martin, and he's afraid of the flank through big door and wood, so he's got to keep stickies on that. He can't really fight the point. He has to stay inside lobby. So now he's getting some teammates. Now they might be able to get some kind of sideways pressure Equal, in fact, trying to over and fight on the midpoint. It does draw some of the Midnight players back, and Equal is able to escape. So pretty good motivation from him. Now Diggy B getting under attack from both directions. Insane and Dunker both coming at him.
Wow, neither medic had to pop so far. I mean, this is a game of chicken. Who wants to go first? Everx gets it cleaned up by Perfection, making it a 4-on-4. Perfection cleaned up, though, in response. Equal managed to equalize that in numbers. Nuna doing some great dodging. I was going to mention that earlier on, but finally has to pop it off to Equal. Diggy B as well doesn't have to pop it off, but Nuna's in a much worse position. Tried to get that Uber saw, and I believe he did get it, but now he's in a bit of a difficult position. He needs to get out with Sayla. However, Sayla eating some pipes, just trying to get his medic out alive, and it looks like he will be able to do so. Nuna out to choke. Oh, he barely survives that one. Everybody's focusing on the scout. Now we can see with him just running into the choke. Equal probably going to get stuffed in here. If he doesn't die, he will be forced to retreat. So they're still staying alive, especially with their medic, and this is good for Midnight Society. But regardless of how long their medic is living, they have just lost the middle point.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for the EU Gimmicks to lose Martin there. Maybe if they played a little bit tighter with Equal staying close after that Uber exchange, they could have kept him up. Nonetheless, good fight afterwards. Sayla not quite able to get the frag on Diggy B. And we are going to just kind of reset here as the flank for Midnight Society doing pretty good, pretty healthy. And EU Gimmicks just mainly having racks there. Does hit a nice rocket as the push is coming through. Choke. Sayla 2K.
He dies with 96% Uber charge, not able to heal anybody as his pocket just died right before him. So excellent aggression from Midnight Society. Once again, coming to this middle point, they just need to clean up Damon, and that will be a full wipe, only losing Insane in the process, and that's exactly how you play aggressive TF2.
Yeah, that's a huge transition there. There's not a ton left on this map. I mean, obviously these teams have been playing very quick today, so it would really only take a few minutes to get around, from scratch. But nonetheless, there's still the momentum factor and the pressure that being up can put their team.
It's going to be about 50% Uber charge advantage on the side of Nuna, a heavy and an engineer on the defense. They're trying to spell with the gun early. You can tell the Stickies Rockets. Equal's been doing a good job keeping it up so far, but he's only got so much metal, and it is going to get taken down by a pipe from Psych. Right as the Uber charge being run into this right-hand side, trying to focus down some players. They force him into spawn, but no frags from his Uber charge. This is already fading off of the demo man. Now we'll see if there's any more frags. Damon is going to get taken down by Dunker, but you can tell they're already maybe considering retreating. Insane gets taken down, but they trade for equal. It's just one player down on each side, back and forth, 4-on-4 now. There's a heavy up from Everx, and here comes the bot from Diggy B. This should be the secured hold. The only saving grace, I would say. Nuna getting taken down, though. Now Sayla's coming out from the flank. I was about to mention him. Perfection's still running in. At that point, I feel like you fed in a few too many players for Midnight Society. There's a heavy standing right there in the middle of the points. Of course, he's going to shred you to pieces.
Yeah, surprisingly, in the beginning of that push, I felt like they didn't really put hard enough.
Yeah.
They had been pushing point pretty, fiercely during their pushes previously. But you're right, the heavy weapon sustain had just allowed them to drag it out. Right now, they're trying to pressure through Big Door. That's Midnight Society. They're pretty engaged here. They do have Choke kind of blocked off by Insane. Sayla's over there as well. They're kind of losing this spam fight over here. Dunker getting stuck in wood. Well, now it does rotate out. And, I think he just took an arrow there, so he's at full health.
5 minutes left on this clock. Team's got to start thinking about that, but Damon getting 2v1'd over by Choke. The rest of his team wasn't there really with him, but Insane ends up making that a trade. Dunker getting eaten by a pipe, though. That could be a big deal, because now suddenly player advantage. Never mind. Sayla finds the frag on a racks. No soldiers on the field for either team. 4-on-4 still fighting, and I don't think anybody's going to push off that unless EU Gimmicks are feeling really good about themselves. They're going to get forced regardless of whether they wanted to or not. Nuna forced to pop in on Psych, saving them, man. That's good, but again, nobody really able to get aggressive off of that Uber charge just because the way it's changed. Soldiers coming near the end, but they're not able to have too big of an impact.
That is the small touches as well. A few Gimmicks put down in their offense there by one of their scouts choosing to taunt. His team was pushed through the corner, so happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only have about 4 minutes left on the clock here, and it's gonna need at some point, but Midnight Society pretty content with their position of mid, and both teams just looking to build the Uber. Diggy B maybe learned his lesson this time. I think they're building it a little bit more. So they will have it before Nuna and Midnight Society.
Yeah, almost 100 from both medics at pretty much the same time, so no real advantage to speak of. This position for Midnight Society, or for either team really, you'd like to be holding or pushing the enemy teams last, or at least holding the enemy team second, because in that situation, you can kind of just stall out the time and push when there's zero risk at all. They kind of can do that because they still have more points than the enemy team, but it's going to be a lot harder. Now they bombed in a soldier, insane, but everybody's sort of dodging, running back on a shutter, so he gets some damage, but nothing substantial. On the enemy team, Damon was looking to do something in a response, maybe racks over by Big Door, but nobody's committed just yet eXtine.
Yeah, Damon was definitely looking for the drop-down play earlier, which is real common, but you know, if someone just sees you a little bit and they expect it, it's easily shut down. The question here is whether Midnight Society will push off this one frag. And they do get a soldier through the choke. Dunker taken out, puts a lot of damage on Martin, who got down to 8 health at one point there. He's getting healed up, and Insane and Sayla on the Big Door side, but they're kind of getting stiff-armed out of the fight. Dunker respawning shortly here, so I might just wait for him to be a little bit closer before something happens from Midnight Society. We are starting to get into that time frame a little bit where, you know, maybe they are pulling just a little bit. Equal pushing into towards Nuna, trying to get a pop pressured. They eventually, and Perfection jumping in. DB pops it, definitely held onto it a little bit extra there. Gets it from Damon due to those stickies. Damon goes down afterwards. They get Perfection. It's not really an equal trade, equal respawning, and going to have to run in here. Rack's very low. No ulti duo arrow from Diggy. Diggy B killed now. Killed now. Ever just slipping away, but gets taken out. Equal is down. That is a wipe with a on the clock.
Yes, eXtine, this should be the round. I mean, it's theirs to lose at this point. 50% from Nuna. They're not going to wait till he gets that, or at least they didn't want to initially. They still have a lot of players back. Lobby, Psyche eats a lot of damage from Rax River, but now they've decided to change their minds. They're going to get that Uber charge. They're going to have a minute and a half to push in. Very doable, very winnable for Midnight Society.
Yeah, and in fact, it's at this point still winnable for EU Gimmicks outright. I mean, the push needs to come quickly, but there is a very famous run back from last to last on Gully Wash. You really only need about a minute to do it. Uber has been popped here. They're coming in, Perfection getting on the point quickly. They're getting times 2 on the point, and they have the capture. Very well executed there. And EU Gimmicks, maybe that 100 milliseconds, if they were just a little too slow to respond. And you sacrifice bodies at that point, you know, you have to stop the capture.
Yeah, and now all Midnight Society needs to do is survive for 45 seconds. That's more than doable. I'm not even sure if it's possible for EU Gimmicks. Maybe if they roll super hard here, but they've already lost one, traded it for 5-5. The players going back and forth, and it's going in favor of Midnight Society regardless. The sniper being run to mid. Perfection hits 2. B and Rax both get taken down. That leaves only Ever X. And regardless, that is going to be the game. Taunts coming out. GG's as well. Midnight Society will win in the first round of our Essentials monthly tournament.
Yeah, that was, I'm sure, a great warm-up match for both of these teams, as that was hotly contested. We had, you know, maybe some early class decision-making out of Midnight Society, switching up Perfection and Dunker, and good coordination from them. I mean, I think Nuna dropping, you know, Uber charge at least the one time, and a few of their pushes maybe weren't, you know, as coordinated as they would have liked. But you definitely have to appreciate, as viewers, I appreciate, and I'm sure as a team, they appreciate just like how solidly they close that game out. You know, in the last couple minutes, how you know, 4 minutes left on the clock, controlling mid, and they just I like to use the term professional, even when we're talking about amateur, you know, competitions, but just the methodology that you're approaching your competition. They very professionally took that 4 minutes left on the clock, holding mid, and pushed last and won. So.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of what I expect from a top open team like that. You know, the team that gets first place in open. the professionality and then also the aggression that we saw from them.
Yeah.
It's kind of indicative of a team that has been playing teams that they've easily been able to beat in the past, which is what would be the case if they were playing open. And so they brought that same style, that style that develops in the highest level of open. And so they brought that to this match, and it did work well for them. It was very back and forth. It almost didn't work for them, and I'm not sure it would work against the same team if it was equal ping. But regardless, they have won against the EU Gimmicks squad, and they'll have that W on their record for the next round.
Yeah, excited to see how these guys do as the tournament progresses today, as well as their chances tomorrow. Definitely on the EU Gimmicks side, shout out to Rax for that big 5K he had on one of their successful rounds. But a good close match. And we'll be back with our second round in not too long. Shout out to our producer, Fruit Loops. But yeah, any final thoughts from you on this game, Cornpop? Or
nope. The second game should be starting around 7 o'clock EST, which is in 3 minutes. We'll have to get players on servers and stuff, so it won't be at exactly that time. But stay tuned because it won't be long before our next match.
Yeah, definitely, ladies and gentlemen. Hang tight. We're going to figure out our matchup, and we will be back shortly. Stay tuned.